So welcome back everyone to another episode of Decentralized Chain, where we dive into the realms of finance, technology, and the future of money. And today, I am super thrilled to explore a project that's pushing the boundaries of DeFi, Orbital Finance. So please welcome Kia Lau, looks after ecosystem growth over at Orbital Finance. Thanks for joining us, Kia. How have you been?
Good, how are you? Thanks for having me.
No, anytime. Always happy to have those that are sort of leading the edge of DeFi within this space on the channel. So I think let's kick into it. Orbital Finance. I mean, you guys have been making a fair few waves lately, especially I've seen focuses on interoperability within the DeFi space, which is super important. And I suppose for those who are just finding out about Orbital Finance, can you give us a bit of an overview about what Orbital Finance is? I mean, what problem are you actually really trying to solve here?
Yes, no problem. So Orbital Finance essentially is a ZK bridge that connect asset that help users to cross-chain their assets from ZK Sync, Arbitrum to even non-EVM chain like Tron and Solana. So we are the number one in terms of transaction ranked cross-chain bridge. So 40% of market share of all cross-chain transactions are happening on Orbital.
Wow.
Yeah. So basically, we launched in 2021 as the first ZK bridge. So it was when ZK Sync and Starknet, the ZK launched their testnet, and there's no ZK bridge that can be used at that moment. Orbital bridge was the only one.
Okay.
So yeah, we grew from there, and then we now are, like the most used cross-chain protocol. But other than just other than just bridge, we are also building something that's even more exciting as the cross-chain interoperability infrastructure, and we can explore that later.
Okay. And look, I mean, I'm hearing a lot of buzzwords, right? I say buzzwords because that's what a lot of people will call it when they're listening to this. ZK rollups, account abstraction, which I think is super important, omni-chain interoperability. Yeah. I mean, how does Orbital Finance, I suppose, integrate these technologies? And more importantly, for those listening to this interview, they're going to want to know, I mean, what does that actually mean to the average user?
Yeah, okay. So, and you mentioned three keywords, right? First was ZK.
Yep.
Long story short, ZK is a technology that helps in the bridging sector that eliminates trust assumption. So in last cycle, you have this bridge like Cinepass, you have multi-chain, you have rolling bridge. Okay, so basically you will need to trust someone that will not misuse your fund that you cross chain, right? And that didn't end well. So you have to hack from the multi-chain and rolling chain.
Yeah,
right?
remember those big hacks.
Sort of happened. Yes. So basically, ZK eliminate the trust assumption that you will need to somehow trust someone to send messages from the source chain that you want to cross-chain your asset. So and that's through enough chain verifications. And you don't have to trust Arbiter, or you don't have to trust any of the ZK bridges that the messages will be sent correctly. It will be automatically verified by a ZK proof generation system. So ZK in the bridge sector essentially eliminate the trust assumption. So there's no hacking in Arbiter. There were no hacking in Arbiter before, and will not having any hacking of bridging afterward. Yes.
And then we spoke about account abstraction. I think that's quite a key piece. But what is account abstraction to the sort of everyday person?
Yeah, so like from there, basically ZK bridge that like the arbiter is that we have a liquidity pool on different chains like Arbitrum based, Solana.
Yep.
And we find out that it's just not really user friendly for people to really cross chain.
Yep.
even though we provide a cross-chain bridge.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't, like, within 2 to 3 years, if you want mass adoption, you wouldn't want users to send Ethereum to someone and asking which chain are they based on,
Yep.
right? You just want to send Ethereum and ask them how much, and you won't pay like of just a fraction of gas fee. That's essentially the end game of making payment or transfer. So account abstraction for us is basically we pay the gas fee, we pay the destination fee for the users. So basically, you don't, like, two users, if one have fund on Arbitrum, one have fund on Base, for example, they don't really need to ask which chain are you on. Like, basically, they can receive fund from any of the layer 2s that they want to receive, and it wouldn't be and basically it will be viable for such users to sort of don't have like understanding of blockchains. So basically, they would just have an account, and then they don't really need to know what's gas fee, what's Base, Ethereum, optimistic rollup, or CK rollups, that sort of thing.
And I think it's an important point, actually, because you're right. When we look at the road to user adoption, to mass adoption, sure, if you're tech savvy, you understand these, you know how to bridge from one chain to the other. You know how to use bridges as well. You may find particular bridges that you want to use to move from Ethereum to Solana. But you're right. Once we start seeing, and you know what, I'll draw on something that's quite common, right? We look at meme tokens today. Now, those are the ones, if you kind of go on to CoinMarketCap, those are the ones that are at the moment seem to be giving you the biggest returns. They're the ones that seem to be pumping absolutely insanely. And they are launching across multiple chains. So when somebody actually wants to trade a meme coin on a given chain, I suppose, if they're new to this space, because a lot of people, let's be honest, they come here following that smell of money. They're going to be like, right, well, how do I get onto that chain? Right, oh, okay, well, I've just been trading on Ethereum. How do I suddenly now trade on Solana? Or do I then need to go to an exchange and buy some Solana and then transfer it over to my Solana wallet? So I suppose, when we start looking at these bridges, when we start looking at things like account abstraction, when we start talking about things like omni-chain and interoperability, the idea, I suppose, and this is what I'm saying to the viewers, is that you don't need to worry about any of that. The idea is that that you need to send funds from A to B, and regardless of what chain B is on, Orbital Finance handles all of that sort of middleware, should I say, in the background. And that's, I think that's the main key bit that I wanted to pull away for the average users, which again is super impressive. And, it is what's needed in this space in order to help people adopt and get to grips with what's going on. I want to talk a bit more about, your ecosystem, maybe some of your recent events. I mean, clearly there's been a lot of activity around Orbital Finance, from partnerships to unique events like the Vising launch. I mean, would you just be able to kind of highlight some of these initiatives and really what their significance is, Keir?
Yeah, okay. So basically, continue from our last answers. So to aggregate this asset, to ensure that people don't have to understand any knowledge of blockchain, you will need to somehow have an aggregation layer, and that's Vising. As Vising is essentially a CK rollup, but it's more than an L2. It's an L2 for Ethereum, but it also can be an L2 for Solana and Tron or Ton. Yes. So yeah, basically, what Vising does, not apart from aggregating this liquidity, which help users to seamlessly bridge fund or conduct cross-chain transaction, which they wouldn't really feel that they are doing cross-chains. So and there are some builders that are building on this omni-chain infrastructure. One is 0x Ultra. So it's an omni-chain gaming dApp that had just received fund from, I think, Animoca, Redpoint, Folius Ventures,
Mm-hmm.
I think 3 million funds for their it's one of the first omni-chain gaming that you don't have to sort of under like basically you can um, farm points
Mm-hmm.
or farm this sort of gaming NFTs from any chains that you want. So what you do essentially is you bridge an Ethereum, say for example, from Arbitrum, and you can just after the transactions have been concluded, then you can start to farm, like to mine the Stardust, the gaming NFT that has a nominal value. Okay, so and also we have also launched a liquid. It is a meme launchpad on multiple chains. So
Okay.
basically, that smart contract automatically deploy on all Ethereum rollups. Okay, so basically, it doesn't matter what chains, what rollups are using
Mm.
are based in Arbitrum. You buy and sell at the same price on Liquid of a certain meme token. Okay, so that's also huge. And Liquid just launched its new sort of like shorting
Mm-hmm.
meme coin. So like right now you can only buy meme coin, right, and
Yeah.
hold it. But on Liquid, we just launched something that you can short the meme coin on basically multiple chains. Yes. So there are a lot of very exciting projects that are building, advising, and adapt this omni-chain interoperability. Yeah, we're starting to see how it goes in the next quarters, and we're seeing a lot of interesting projects to come up.
That's pretty impressive. I mean, all these platforms, especially the shorting element in DeFi for for meme tokens. I mean, you speak about Orbiter's presence, on platforms like Chroma, Manta Pacific, along with all your sort of integrations to various layer twos. That's such a broad
Yeah.
reach, actually. I'm curious though. I mean, how does Orbiter ensure? I suppose one of the main things here that jumps to my mind straight away is security and efficiency across these environments.
Yeah, it's through ZK proof. So basically, to understand how Arbiter works
Mm.
is this: if you want send transaction, if you want send Ethereum from Arbitrum to Base, so basically like on the Arbiter on Arbiter, you transfer the the fund on Ethereum, sorry, on Arbitrum to the wallet that we control. Okay, so and the problem with the previous bridge that's non-ZK, you will have to charge someone that after you send the fund to someone's wallet or smart contract, you will get your Ethereum or
Yeah.
other asset on a destination chain, right? In Arbiter, it's automatically generated with a ticket proof application, and on the smart contract on the destination chain, which in that case is Base. For example, your wallet on Base or wallet on Solana, the smart contract will receive a ticket proof, and that will be verified by the node that we're owning. And liquidity provider, which is the maker, will send the exact amount that you have sent on the source chain that you want to conduct cross-chain transactions. So ZK proof, there's literally no way that anyone can hack a ZK circuit, and how ZK proof generation. And if it has been hacked, and then the ZK proof generation software, we will be seeing a greater problem, like largest problem probably in the history of software, because a lot of people are not just Arbiter, and also a lot of like really privacy focused protocol, not just in Web3, are using this ZK proof generation software.
Okay.
So ideally, like theoretically, it's unhackable. So basically, you would have to trust. So basically, you don't have to trust anyone. when conduct cross-chain transaction on Orbital Finance.
And I suppose one thing I will draw out is, I mean, we say ZK rollups, ZK proofs, and the ZK stands for zero knowledge. For those who are wondering what the acronym is for.
ZK knowledge means that you don't for example, I want to prove that I'm rich without showing you
exactly
my bank account.
Yeah.
I can just show you the house that I have in Beverly Hills, and I have Lamborghini that I own. So basically, you don't have to. So as a verifier, you don't have to care about the input data. The input data is encrypted.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you don't. You only have to believe that, like the Lamborghini and the Beverly Hills that I have, which I don't at this moment. Yes.
If you say you don't have it at this moment, then let's talk about the future of Orbital Finance, which will hopefully allow you to have it at some point. So looking ahead, what are some of these sort of, I suppose, challenges that Orbital Finance, is gearing up to tackle in this space? I mean, how are you preparing to evolve the DeFi landscape?
Basically, it's a very good question. It kind of concludes like every information that I've talked about. So to conclude, we will need an omni-chain smart contract that automatically deploy on different chains, including Solana, Ethereum, Rollups, and that smart contract have the authoritarian of the asset that you own on different chains. Okay, so basically that smart contract is built on vising, and that smart contract can say, "Hey, I saw." Basically, users can say, "Hey, I don't want to have my my landing position liquidated ever." So, but it happens on, say, for example, if the Ethereum dropped on, say, for example, 40%, and your asset that's on Aave that you put to supply as borrowing, it will be liquidated. So basically, if you don't want that, these smart contract that owns authoritarian of the assets of the user's cross chains can help you to move fund from, say, if your position will be liquidated on Arbitrum, we can help you to automatically bridge fund from Base or Solana even. And also, if you think of everyday cases, you don't want to walk into a coffee shop and buying coffee at $2 coffee and asking the coffee shop owners which chain are you at. Okay. So basically, you want to swipe your card or whatever, do a transactions, and then you just walk away, and we'll take care of the rest of cross chain from the chains that you holding the asset, which you can set as a primary goal for micropayment. For example, Base, and the coffee shop owner will say, "Hey, I only want to receive fund from Arbitrum." Then we can help you to pay the coffee shop owners on Arbitrum, and which ensures finality time, so you don't have to wait in line for like 7 minutes for the block confirmations, and you don't have to worry about cross-chain and this gas fee, those sort of things. Yeah.
So much happening and so advanced, to be honest. One of the things that I always like to talk about is community engagement, right? Community is absolutely crucial for any platform within the crypto space, and I know you've got platforms or programs like Axel program. I mean, I suppose when it comes to Orbital's vision, what's the role of the community? I mean, what opportunities or events do you think our listeners should look out for?
So basically, Orbital launch is OPoint. system. So basically, it will give you an additional OPoint when you use Orbital to conduct cross-chain transactions.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and there are about 4 million users holding OPoints from 5 to millions of OPoints.
Oh wow.
And these are basically the proof for them to be eligible for the airdrops. Basically, that's the incentive for for the community.
Mm.
Yeah. So we're gonna make sure that we will have this ready, like have these mechanisms and this tokenomics ready in this bull run. If we still believe that it's in the middle of the bull run. So
okay, there you go, guys. So definitely start stacking those OPoints is what I'm going to say to everybody. So as we wrap up, any final thoughts or upcoming announcements you'd like to share with our audience?
Yeah, so basically we will be launching very soon of this on-chain infrastructure ecosystem, sort of like Grant, with one of the top tier, with several of the top tier VC investors.
Okay.
So yeah, and I think it's a good time for any of the builders to look out to the Vising and also the ability that provided by Orbital to build something that's, I think, very different from what we're seeing today in the crypto. So yeah,
excellent.
and
Well,
if and after like documentations and stuff, if any of the builders have any questions, feel free to reach me out on Twitter or Telegram.
And I was going to say, all the details will be directly in the description below if you want to find out a bit more about Orbiter Finance. So, Keir, thank you for shedding light on Orbiter Finance's certainly innovative approach to DeFi. And as I said, for those who are intrigued and wanting to learn more where they can find the latest updates on Orbiter Finance, make sure you check out the description below and you'll find all of the socials. So that's all we have for today's deep dive into the world of DeFi with Keir and Orbiter Finance. So big thanks to Keir. Thank you for joining us. And again, if you've enjoyed this episode, guys, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And until the next time, we'll see you on the next episode. Decentralized Chain signing off.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for listening.